Listen, and we got to you got to reward your Dallas fan base. That's my thing, right? Reward the Dallas fan base because the Dallas, like, listen, the Dallas alumni doing a thing. So reward them, right? Make this a part of it. Make a part of this, right? I don't remember who said this. I don't remember who brought this idea out, but when I heard it, I instantly loved it. And I said, yo, this makes so much sense. Now, obviously there's logistics involved, right? I don't know how much, it would be to rent Kincaid Stadium in Dallas, right? But listen, you got a 15,000 seat stadium in the heart of Dallas. When I say in the heart of Dallas, right? I'm talking about, let's listen what I'm saying, right? Follow me, because you already, this is everything we're talking about really at the end of the day is all about marketing. Let's just put it there. It's about marketing the program, and it's about marketing for recruits. And if it's anywhere that we need to be in order to market to, is and it's in Dallas area, it's Duncanville, it's DeSoto, and it's Oak Cliff. Say it with me. Let's say it with me. Duncanville, DeSoto, and Oak Cliff. Now touch your neighbor and now say Duncanville, DeSoto. Okay, good. We're on the same page. Listen, this would be in the heart of the area, right? The heart of the area, so we can market to the surrounding community to get them to this game, right? 15,000 seat stadium, not a small stadium, right? Again, same size of the stadium at Prairie View. So we're not talking about a small 5,000 seat facility or something like that, right? Talking about a stadium where when it's full, you look around and say, man, it's a lot of people here, right? And knowing that you have a fan base, an alumni base in Dallas already puts you in a position where you're going to have people who are going to be willing to come to this game, right? That's off. But the fact that this game could be in the heart of a place, in the heart of individuals that you're trying to reach out to, that you're trying to recruit, that you're trying to show your brand as PV, right? That you're trying to put your football team on display. Listen, this will be great, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, hey, I'm just sharing my thoughts. Maybe it works. Maybe it don't work. But hey, I think it would make sense to give the Dallas fan base a second opportunity. You know what I'm saying? A second opportunity to go there, right? You know what I'm saying? BG says games aren't happening. Got TSU, got homecoming, got senior day. Now, what I'm talking about doesn't take away from any of those games, right? Because again, I'm talking about 2024 and 2025 specifically, talking about this 12-game slate. That's what I'm saying. We got a chance to add an extra game. So this is why even the conversation is coming up, just to be clear, right? So TSU stays that first Sabbath in September, right before Labor Day. It stays there, doesn't change. It's right. This year, that would be a home game. This next year, 2024, homecoming is still going to be homecoming, right? First Sabbath, Saturday in November. Cool, stays there, right? Senior day is going to stay senior day. Hey, last game of the season at home in November, the week before Thanksgiving. Never have a game on Thanksgiving ever. That's one thing we for sure learned. And we never going to have no game Thanksgiving weekend ever again, right? Those going to stay there. We ain't talking about that, right? We're talking about adding the game, adding an extra game, and adding an extra game in Dallas. In Dallas. Why not? Why not add an extra game in Dallas? When hey, listen, your Dallas base is there and saying, listen, we're willing, we're there, we're out here. Feed us. So why don't you feed them? You know what I'm saying? So he said they tried with Texas Southern and Southern. So again, I'm definitely not saying I'm never moving the Southern game away from home in the first place, right? Because that's a guaranteed gate at home. So I don't know why we would do that in the first place. We know Southern is going to travel. We know Southern's going to travel from Baton Rouge and from Houston and from Dallas, from wherever they are, to come to that game in Prairie View, right? So there's no way possible I'm moving the Southern game from Prairie View. That's gonna stay there. The Texas Southern game, listen, let them have it at the soccer stadium. And then, again, that's another home game. I know it's a home game that's going to draw. I'm not moving that game from Prairie View. That game is going to stay in Prairie View, Texas. That's going to be one. That's going to be 2 of the 4 home games that I'm going to leave in Prairie View. I'm not changing that. That's not changing at all. That's going to stay the same. What I'm talking about is adding a completely different game in Dallas. I'm not moving my I'm not moving my in-conference games at all. Grambling is going to stay in Dallas already. We already know that. I'm going to have Texas Southern, Southern, Alcorn, whoever else I'm playing, UAPB, FAMU, all that's going to be in Prairie View. Not moving those games. I'm talking about, you said, and it doesn't have to be, for sure, right? It's not going to be a SWAC opponent, right? So let's talk about opponents. Let's talk about opponents, right? Because so we are clear that we're not talking about moving any SWAC games. We're not talking about moving any of the 4 home games in Prairie View. That's mandatory home games. We are clear on that, right? That's not what the conversation is about. We're not moving any of those games. We're talking about creating a whole nother game. Listen, we're talking about, again, 6 home games. Once you understand what I'm saying, though, the 6 home games don't mean that the game we play against Grambling is a technical home game. I'm calling it a home game because it's in the area, in the region of our alumni who are going to attend the game in droves and masses, right? We understand it. So I'm considering that a home game, 1 home game in Dallas. What I'm saying is we got 4 in Prairie View already. Cool, that's 5. Every year we should have 5. Let's add an extra game in Dallas, right? And let's use it as a game to put it in the base and in the area to where we're trying to drum up individuals to come to the school. 1, recruiting. 2, again, these are students, these are Black high schools, Black populations, right, that need to know more about Prairie View. So we also, because listen, President LeGrand is also trying to increase the enrollment numbers too. It's another way to do it, right? To continue to build on a base that is going to supply for you sports-wise, but also supply for you in the population of students as well. So when we talk about opponents, I got 2 things. I got two ways we can do this, right? I got 2 ways we can do this, and it all going to come down to, and the other thing is, it don't got to be the same opponent every year. That's the thing. Well, we can have it in the same place every year and have a completely different opponent every year, right? That's also another thing, right? The opponent don't gotta stay the same. As a matter of fact, I prefer if the opponent don't stay the same. But listen, we can do it this way. We can look and figure out which D2 team has a base, right, in and around the Dallas area that we know, hey, listen, this is also not only is going to draw our alumni, but there's alumni from a Morehouse or from a Tuskegee or a Langston University, right? One of the D2 schools, right? That's a prominent D2 school, or a D2 school like Langston that is a regional school that can have a draw. What if we have these teams to come to Dallas and we play them in Dallas? Bring that draw of alum to the game as well. Again, place it in the area of Dallas to where we're there. That's one way we can go about this, right? I think a Tuskegee would be a great game, right? And listen, you also got to play that game because Tuskegee gonna come to play. You feel me? I ain't want to put Miles there because I ain't want, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to have them winning 2 games in the SWAC. You feel me? But Langston, Morehouse, Tuskegee, I like these names. My other theory is we can go with this, right? We can go with this. Now, there's history. So when you talk about Langston, right, there's history there, right? Because Langston, obviously, old original member of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, right? You got history in that game that you can build around, that you can promote around. But again, not to say that I don't think it should be the same team every year anyway. But I'm just saying the same thing you have with Tennessee State, right? You got the same thing with a Tennessee State. You got history around a Tennessee State. And listen, you got to realize the old State Fair Classic was Prairie View versus Tennessee State. Langston, right? Like these were the games. You got history around the Tennessee State as well. And so if you're looking for a consistent opponent, now again, Tennessee State that would have to be something they say like, listen, I think that would be something valuable to us, to our brand, right? Again, Dallas, Texas is a huge area to market in, right? You know, but Tennessee State and Prairie View and Dallas, You don't have a stadium to where, listen, you're gonna need 30,000 people to make it look full. 15,000, man, you can fill that stadium. You can make it look, you can have it packed, make it a great game. People say, listen, I want to go to that game. It's a great game, right? In an area where, listen, Tennessee State would love to get some players out of that area. And obviously we would love to too, right? Get the market your brand. Of course, you got Hampton, you got the North Carolina A&T, which are schools that are in the CAA. They're going to continue to seek to play games against HBCUs. Outside of the CAA, they're going to be playing HBCUs. Just listen, their out of conference games are not going to be against other PWI institutions. They play 8 of them already. It's not going to happen, right? Like their other 3 to 4 games are going to be against the HBCU. Typically, they're going to look to reach out to a MEAC school, obviously, right? SWAC school here and there. Hampton played Grambling last year. Hey, listen, those are other teams. Those are other universities that I would say, man, listen, pick up the phone and call. Again, it's all about like, listen, what kind of base does North Carolina A&T have in Houston, Dallas, Shreveport, Louisiana, right? Because again, you want a team that got a good alumni base and good draw, and then a Howard. Listen, I don't know if Howard would be willing to do that. Howard's in a MEAC, right? But listen, Howard only plays 5 conference games. They got to play 6 to 7 other games. 6 to 7 other games. They got to find another opponent, right? So to me, I like either way, right? Either way, I feel like it makes sense. But to me, what makes the most sense is give the Dallas fan base 2 home games. Listen, for all because I'm also thinking of the model again to where, listen, when you talk about buying season tickets, you talk about selling season tickets, right? The season tickets need to not just be for the 4 games in Prairie View. It also needs to include a ticket to the State Fair Classic. And it can also include a ticket to the game in Dallas at Kincaid Stadium against A&T, against Tennessee State, against the Langston, whoever it is, whoever the opponent is, right? Those 6 season tickets. You got Dallas alum who buying season tickets, right? Who come to the games. That's really the foundation of our base, right? Above Houston is the Dallas alumni, right? Listen, put the game in their backyard and make the game a part of their season ticket package. It's my thoughts. I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts? Say I like Tennessee State and Langston for sure. Tennessee State and Langston, listen, there's history also around it, right? So you talk about marketing, like we market around the history of those games too. And I think that was a big thing. Langston is a good midpoint for both schools. So listen, both of those schools have an opportunity to get out, right, and to recruit, right? Because this is not just about the football. This is about growing the university. This is about applications to the university too. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of that. We should definitely try 1 year in Dallas with Tennessee State, and if possible, another year in Memphis with them again. Memphis. So are you talking about Memphis at the game they had with UAPB in Jackson before? Is that what you're talking about? Said, I like North Carolina T. Howard and Hampton is travel. That would be the issue. Yeah. So the only thing, see, and that's why I like if it's a Langston, for example, right? That's the benefit of it being a D2 school, because obviously we know like you're paying to play the D2 schools, right? It is what it is. If you're playing against like an A&T or a Hampton, a Howard, Tennessee State, it's gonna kind of be where either they're gonna want a home and home type of situation, which means that, man, there's gonna be travel on the back end for us, and that's where it's like, or it's gonna be a situation where there's gonna kind of be some type of revenue split like the OBC had with Jackson and Florida A&M, right, where they give them some portion too. So it really kind of just depends. But again, to me, it's like, I think it's something you definitely should pursue. It's definitely something you pursue if we can build it and bake it in. It's like, hey, this is also a part of a season ticket package. You know, you put it in the area of Dallas to where your alums, are going to show up. Like, so anyway, that's my thought. That's my thought process, right? It's my thoughts. Hey, maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't work. But you know what I know? I don't think it's going to hurt to try. Because what I know is like Carrie say, you know what I'm saying? Listen, it's the Dallas people be putting in the work. They've been putting in the work. Okay. So I think we gotta show the Dallas people a little bit of love. You know what I'm saying?